What's going on? I just wanted to hop on here real quick while I was heading out to take care of a few things um, about nationality. Why it's very important right now to correct your nationality. Well, it was important a while ago. I'm trying to get the right angle here, man. This iPhone 12 Pro Max ain't no joke. As far as the angle, it's got like a nice wide angle. Um, why is it important to correct that nationality? What's the Well, as you can see, these jobs are trying to get people to take the vaccine. They want you to take it, or you can't work there anymore. You know, they can do that to a U.S. citizen. They could do that. I listen to that stuff. But if you are indigenous, you're American, South Carolinian, or in New Yorker, that protect you. And that's in the Constitution written that you have the inalienable God the way you want to, or words, or practice your religious beliefs the way you want to. Inalienable means even if you wanted to, you can't give it up. That's what inalienable means. So why do you want to correct your nationality? Because you want to put it on the record and correct all of those presumptions that you've been living with or filling out when they presented that paper and asked you, was you black, African American? Are you a U.S. citizen? Yes or no? They never offered you the option that's mentioned in the GPO style manual. You could look that up, GPO style manual, that talks about nationalities. They never gave you the option to pick, if you're born in South Carolina, to pick South Carolinian. Never offered that option to you. Why? Why wouldn't they offer that option to you? Because they know that's where all your rights are protected. When you are coming from your proper nationality, proper status, when you're in your improper status, you're going to get treated improperly. It's that simple. So even in your name, improper, when that's styled improperly, if it's styled improperly, you're going to get treated improperly. So you got to correct all of that. What does it mean to even correct your status? What do you have to do? From my studies and where I saw the most benefit, the first thing you need to do is correct how the Department of State has you on the record. So that means you got to do your passport as a national or American national. I don't agree with the state citizenship stuff. I don't agree with that. There's a lot of people that are doing great work and they're doing the state citizenship. We just, on that part of it, I do not agree. But I'm not here to beat up on their process. The reason why I don't agree with state citizenship, because in a lot of constitutions, it says every citizen of this state owes allegiance to the United States. And we all know that the United States is not a country. It is a trust and a corporation at the same time. Okay? It operates as a business. It's really United States in Congress assembled, meaning that the United States is only in business or only open when Congress is in session. Once they're out of session, United States is closed for business. Or if they don't pass a budget, United States is closed for business. And you know this because what happens when they shut down, they don't pass a budget. The first agency that shuts down is the IRS, which indicates that the IRS is a contractor for the Department of Treasury. See, contractors get paid last when the budgets are not approved. All the other agencies are open, but those agencies are closed because they're contractors. They work for the United States Treasury. So So correcting the passport, number one. Then after you do that, you need to go to all of those agencies. First, let me mention, once you correct that passport, you need to go get an authenticated copy of your application showing how you filled it out as a national. Get that copy of that for your records. Then go correct that driver's license if you got one. Go correct that SS5, which is a social security card. Go correct that as well. And there's no need to get another explanatory statement. Use the same one you got from the passport. Just change it out and make it SS5 application or driver's license application and have that put on the record. Will you meet resistance? Most likely, yes, in some cases. They're going to try to give you resistance. Why? Because most of these people don't know what's going on, or they don't want to know. They don't think it's a difference. So they're like, why? And they're not used to doing anything like that. And they'll sit there. I'll just tell you my experience. So I went to DMV. I put my stuff on the record. She said, well, how do I do this? This shows you how they don't think outside of the box. Well, I asked, well, how do you take copies of my other documentations like the birth certificate and proof of address? Well, we just scan it in. I said, well, there you go. Just scan that in. Oh, yeah, you're right. You see, sometimes you got to, wake them up a little bit because they're sleeping. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be nasty. I do not advocate people going to these people and being hostile. These are regular folks who believe what they're doing is correct, and they're just trying to do a job so that they can go home and take care of their family. So all of this going in there acting belligerent is unnecessary with these government officials. You'll get a lot more progress in your procedures if you go in there acting like a lady and a gentleman. When I go down there, I'd say, hi, how are you? They ask me how I'm doing, and I generally ask them how they're doing. Hey, how are you? And wait for a response. You will not believe just doing that one little technique right there will open them up to help you with your processes. See what's happening, you're going in these places and I need to file this, and you're looking for resistance. And I teach that mind sciences. I teach that Reverend knowledge. What you got going on in your mind, you're going to see that in your reality. So if you're going in there acting hostile, these people are going to treat you with hostility. Now, does that work all the time? Sometimes you're going to run into someone that's a little more difficult. Maybe they had a bad day. They're having their relationship at home is bad. Maybe they got something going on. But if you operate in the way I'm showing you at the higher consciousness, the Christ consciousness, you'll see through that. And you'll take a step back and, come from a higher place of consciousness and just allow them to say whatever they say and then respond accordingly. You don't have to be rude with these people. They will help you. I had so many people help me just by being nice, just by asking them how they're doing. So, all right. What did I say? The passport first, driver's license, SS5, correct that. Then another process of correcting status is getting your name, getting an order from the court stating what your proper styling of your name is. Now, some courts say it doesn't make a difference, but there's a lot of courts that know that it makes a difference. And they're signing orders. They know. Now you have a certified order correcting your name, along with your certified copy of your passport. Now you have what you call actual certified evidence that you can put on any record. So when you get in trouble or you have a ticket and they got that name in all caps, you can bring that to court and say, hey, that is not my name. This is it, and it's by court order. Can we correct that? And they're not going to correct it because their systems are locked out. So now what do? They're stuck. They don't have the proper person in the courtroom. But we're not going to get into all of that. So we're not going to, go into all of those details about court cases. But Your nationality is important because what they're trying to do is steal your rights by way of forcing you to do something you don't want to do. And now they're saying, well, if you're going to claim religious exemptions, I want to know what the faith is. I want to know what specifically. The Constitution is clear. You can't abridge my rights. You can't interfere with my rights of conscience. So that means you can't question me on my faith, because if you question me and then you come up with an opinion that that's not really a religion, you just abridged, you just interfered with my inalienable right to practice my religion. So all of the extra questions is unnecessary. See, so many people are trying to get these religious freedoms and they're just writing these blanket statements, and they're not pointing out through the Constitution that it doesn't matter what you say. This says this, and this is what you got to go with. You know? There's no question. I get so many people, well, they said this. I don't want to hear what they say. They said the Constitution says this. Now get around that. Tell me how you can do what you do against this. See, the issue is a lot of jobs, they have attorneys that not really constitutional attorneys. And they're so used to following codes and statutes that they think that that is the supreme law of the land. But it's your job to remind them that what the supreme law of the land is. You have to remind them, and it got to be in your paperwork if you want to win. You got to state that. Pursuant to such and such and such and such. Constitution first. First, I'll put a biblical principle, whether it be a scripture or something like that. Or I know somebody, well, what scripture do you use? You want to know what I use? Go to my website, akiemel.com. And I got the religious exemptions with a video and the template to go with it. That's how you're gonna know what I use. I'm not about to tell you how to draft your document. If you don't want to invest in protecting yourself through me, I'm just telling you what you need to do. So that means go study the Bible and get out your principles. And see, some of y'all just jumping on the religion bandwagon because y'all just don't want to take the shot. And these companies know that, and that's why they pushing back. Wouldn't you push back if all of a sudden thousands of people want to claim religious exemptions that didn't before when they were taking the other vaccines? I mean, that's a normal response to me. Yeah, I'm in my truck today, my Titan. I love this truck. I have other vehicles, but I love this truck. I don't drive it often. I made a lot of money in this truck when I was doing satellites. You ever have a vehicle you would never give up? This is one of them. This truck drives the same way it drives from the time I bought it back in 2012. Brand new off the lot. It drives the same way. And it got a lot of power. When I'm ready to hit it, it gets up. So this is one of those vehicles I won't give up. But anyway, back to your status in religious exemptions. I'm all fine with y'all claiming y'all religious exemptions, but if you're gonna claim a religious exemption, one thing you need to have, you need to identify your nationality in that piece of paper. You know, say like me, I would say, I'll tell you this, hey, Akeem Barber, an American national, or New Yorker American national, or I'll name my tribe Catawba American national, but not a citizen of the United States. I'm very clear. Some people, well, I don't want to put the non-citizen, you know, I don't want to rate. No, sometimes I kind of be a little covert, but in that situation, you know, you want to be a little bit straightforward. You want to, at least, if you don't want to put the but not a citizen of the United States, at least put your nationality on that paper. Anytime I'm addressing any type of entity, I'm putting my nationality, making it clear who I am. I'm making that clear. You know who I am. This is who I am. This is what I represent. And this is what I'm not going to do according to the provisions of the Bill of Rights or Articles of Rights, or just however is written in your Constitution. I won't be doing this or that. See, I'm not saying whether you could take, you should take that. I'm not giving my opinion on the vaccine, whether you should or shouldn't take it. My job is whatever you want to do, whether you want to take the vaccines or not take the vaccines, I'm showing you what your rights are and how to enforce them. That's what I'm showing you. Whatever you want to do, I show you how to enforce them. Do your religious belief. Now, I've been talking to you guys for years about, hey, claim your religious beliefs. If you say you're this, claim it, whatever it is. Claim it, make it your way of life. Make your commerce, your banking, your trust should be connected to your religious faith. Your businesses. When you setting up an LLC and you doing the article, well, not the article of corporation, it's the other one, the operation agreement. How you're running your LLC need to have something in there connected to your faith. You should be funneling your money from your business into your church if you have one, if you're creating a church. See, me personally, I got a church. And everything I do is funneled through that. I gift everything to my church. So now once it goes through there, it's coming out. That's God's money, not Caesar's. See, they had that scripture wrong. They taught that, give Caesar's thing to Caesar when they talked about taxes. Yeah, you got to pay taxes if your money is funneled through Caesar's system. But if I get the money through that system, then I funnel it through God's system. Now it's no longer Caesar's money. If you catch what I'm saying. That's status. That's a status correction. A religious status is a status correction. Because right now, U.S. citizens, that's a corporate status. And if you're operating like that, you gotta play the game. You gotta play by the rules. You can't get around it. You see? Religious exemptions is sovereign. They don't like that word sovereign, but that's what it is. It's sovereign. There's no question in that. And you got many organizations, many groups of people that practice their religious beliefs. You got Jewish people that practice it. They have a lot of holidays and stuff that they observe. And I give mad respect to the Jewish community because they're the one people that I see that enforce their religious freedoms. Most of these Christians out here, I'm a Christian, but they don't enforce nothing. They're going along with everything else. I had a Jewish teacher when I was in first grade. I had a Jewish teacher. She had so many holidays. She had many days off because of her religion. Do you realize if you had a religion and you had said, well, this is my holy day, and I can't work, and you create your doctrine around that, they'd have to respect that and give you that day off and you keep your job. But in the current state of affairs, how Christianity is set up, Christians don't really have no days off other than what the government says. So that brings a big question. What is Christianity? Because that's the one religion in this country that abide by everything that the government be putting out. What is it? Is it a government-controlled religion? I'm talking about the true doctrine, the doctrine of Christianity as we know it today. Back then, it was different. The way it's transformed now, it's not the same as the original teachings. It's not the same. This is why they took so many books out of the Bible. But even though they took a lot of books, there's still a lot of clues in there that you can use to correct status. But I recommend you get some of the older Bibles You get the Apocrypha, you get the Gnostic Bibles. That's key. That Gnostic Bible is key. Go get all of the books that they claim that you shouldn't have. Go get all of those and read those. Once you read that stuff in its totality, you get the whole picture of what they call Christianity, what it's really all about, what it should have been. You see? So all of that's got to do with status correcting. If you consider yourself a Christian, you need to read it all, not just what the pastor tell you to read, them few scriptures or one or two scriptures he read on Sunday or whatever he holds his ministry that he hones in on. You got to read the whole thing from cover to cover. I would make that a goal to read the Bible if you're into that from cover to cover, or really read any religious text that you associate yourself with. Read that from cover to cover. Read it thoroughly. Take time. Read one or two scriptures a day. Read it thoroughly, because I promise you, if you read those texts thoroughly, you'll start to be looking at your pastor sideways. Well, how come you didn't tell me this? How come you didn't tell me that? When I told someone who's been a religious practitioner pretty much all their life, and I said, well, the Bible has a warning about having a lawyer. They were like, really? Now these are people, and it's in the New Testament, which most of the people preach from. They were surprised. And I'm like, why? Why are you surprised? You've been preaching this stuff to people 20, 30 years, and you're surprised that I said that? Didn't you surprised that I talked about Jubilee and 7 years of forgiving debt that's mentioned in the Old Testament and how it connects to bankruptcy? Will they forgive that debt or discharge a debt for 7 years? You don't know. It's crazy that they don't know. But they consider themselves expert on biblical principles. No, what they're experts on is doctrine. Specific doctrine. Come to church, wait on God to fix all your problems, and just wait. Wait for your promise. Wait for your heaven to come. That's what they're experts on. They're not experts on really telling you what the truth is, that you are a divine manifestation of God, and because of that, you have the same abilities as God. See, I'm telling you you're God. They don't want me telling y'all that. They get up there, you can't tell me that's blasphemy. No, it's blasphemy to tell someone that they are wretched or sinner. That's blasphemy, because when you put that type of negativity in somebody's mind, that they're a sinner, they can never get right with God, they're imperfect, they're a filthy rag, and all of this craziness that they're talking about, how do you think they're going to live their life? As a wretch, as a sinner, someone who can never measure up, always looking for someone's approval. The first thing that gets you to look for approval is some invisible God in the sky that you never seen or talked to, and got you looking over your shoulder, worrying about what he's thinking about. When in reality, this God is a false God. It's made up. He's not real. What's real is what you're looking at in the mirror. See, God works through you and in you. God comes from you, out of you, not somewhere else. There's only one God. And that's consciousness, your thoughts, your mind. What you thinking is what you seeing. I don't care who disagree with me. I lived that life of looking over my shoulder, worrying about what God think, this God that they created for me thinking, and I'm all bundled up inside. Oh, what is gonna happen? Man, once I released that God, that false God, that sky God, everything became successful. My life got better. I was able to look at myself more truthfully. Because when I start seeing myself, wait a minute, God is in you, works through you, in you, out in it. God, you will not know God from the outside. You can only know God from the inside. Got to go within. You see, it's time for us to stop believing in these false narratives about ourselves, our true existence, and start, don't take my word for it, you go within. Go into the secret place and look within yourself, and you'll start seeing God. If you can't see God in you, then you don't know God. If when you look at that mirror and you're not saying, oh, there's God, then you don't know God. You don't know Christ until you become the Christ. You can't know anything until you become it, until you experience it. It's like my teachings. I can't teach you anything accurately unless I experience it. I got to become the teaching. I got to express the teaching. Be that teaching. That's how I know the teaching. That's how come I can give you the truth. Some of y'all are following process, secure party creditor, discharge, all of this other stuff. And these people that teach you have not been successful at none of it. They can't even tell you how it benefit them. You ask that question, they get quiet. I was on Clubhouse talking about religious exemption, and this guy got some calling himself a bishop, and he got on there talking about how he can get people out of the country through the religious exemption to get into other countries. And I was like, really? He was making it sound real easy. I'm not saying it can't be done, but I said, well, so I posed the question to him. I said, well, oh, okay, that's great information, but how have you benefited from using this strategy that you're talking about? I got literally 10 seconds of silence. So that means that 10 seconds he was trying to formulate a lie to tell me. Then he started bringing up side issues. You know, he started deflecting. I said, hold up. And I stopped him. I said, well, if you can't answer that, let me ask you this. How many people have you helped with that process you're talking about? He got quiet again. See, he started to try to formulate a response, and every response was a deflective statement. So I said, basically, bro, you have never done this. You're talking on theory. So why are you on here trying to give people false hopes about, you know, because there was a guy who's a contractor, and he had to travel out of the country, and they want him to be vaccinated to go to this country. And he's talking about he can get that handled. I'm like, my answer was, that's another country, and if that's their requirement, possibly you can use a religious exemption, but that's their jurisdiction. I can only teach you from this jurisdiction. So I'm not going to tell this man that, yeah, you can use that over there. No. Because I don't know. But this brother trying to tell him, see, that's the thing. Just like with religion, we're believing that what the pastor is saying is God's word when it's really his word. Because none of them are coming back with proof of what they're saying. But I can give you proof that once I started looking at myself properly, I started seeing results. My relationships got better. My finances got better. When I started rethinking, I put that whole doctrine in the trash and started reinventing it, started renewing my mind like the Bible said, everything got better. So I could prove that because you can look at my life. I don't wake up and have to worry about giving somebody a religious exemption because I am the exemption. Because my lifestyle, I don't wake up clocking in on some job or something like that. I have that freedom. That's why sometimes it takes me time to help people because I'm not living that lifestyle. So I got to work through someone else living that lifestyle to see how these things are working. But I've been very successful with helping people with schools, from California to New York. All of the places that say they're going to try to get rid of this stuff, they cannot get rid of your religious exemption unless they're going to do away with the Constitution. And if they try to get rid of your religious exemption, you have the power to sue them. First thing you need to do is a constitutional challenge to whatever they're trying to do. A writ of mandamus, if it's a state agency or government agency, writ of mandamus. I'm just drawing some clues out there for y'all. You have options, people. You have options. It's not the end of the world. Don't panic. If you talking about you working in your God power, why are you stressing these people like they got power over you? You got the power, and you have to operate in it. You got to go in there with full authority that this is your right, and you intend to fully protect that right. Reason why they're getting away with it, because people roll over at the first push, the first blow. Oh, first blow. But if some of y'all would have been listening when I was talking about you need to enforce these religious freedoms, that's the only thing you got to protect you, because that's going to be it. All that opinionated stuff, they don't have to accept that. They don't care. And then there's another thing about that. It's okay, you don't want to take the vaccine, and you want to religiously exempt it. I got people who want to, what about the test? I don't want to take the test. Why they don't want to take the test? Because they're looking on the internet and they said the test got nanoparticles. It got this and it got all these this, that, and the other. I don't know if that's true or not, because I don't know. That's just stuff I've seen on, non-mainstream websites that say that, what most people would deem those sites as conspiracy theory. But here's what I'm trying to say about the test. This is what I want y'all to know. You're asking for a religious exemption from the vaccine, fine. They want to give that to you. But the other alternatives, you got to be tested in order to show that you're free from COVID, right? Now, some of y'all have this system that COVID's not real. I'm not here to discuss all that, whether it's real or not real. That's your opinion. Hang on a second, y'all. Oh man, I came to pick up my mail and they closed. It was a holiday, so I drove all the way over here for nothing. So he off for the weekend. He deserve it. I got my postal. I tell y'all not to be getting them straw man bills at your house. Get them at your postal service. Don't let the dead man come to your house. You don't let nothing dead come to your house. So what I was saying, okay, with the testing, the companies have to think about liability. Not your opinion whether COVID-19 is real or not. They have to think about liability. And right thing. So from a company point of view and lawsuit point of view, they can't have people in there without knowing what their status is. Whether you believe the vaccines are effective or not, that's your opinion, basically. You can't go to court and prove what you're saying is correct. You can't go to court and say that the tests are doing this and that. You have that proof. You're just going off a feeling. Companies can't go off your feeling. They got to think about the overall health and well-being of everyone that works in that building and the potential liability that someone could pose to the rest of the people that work there. Just like you don't believe in it, there's someone that do believe in it and says it's real. So you have to respect that. When it comes to religious freedoms, there's a statement in the Constitution that says, as long as your rights of conscience doesn't interfere with someone else. And that could mean their health as well. So, my thing is, you can't have it all. You take the test. can't have it all. See, some of y'all, I don't want to do this, but I still want my job. No, go get another job. You want to do just your thing. Go find a job that will accept that, or you create your own job. See, since you're not in a position to run a company or own a company, you got to go to that company and respect what they're doing. You signed up to be their employee, meaning that contract says that you're going to do what they tell you or bye-bye. Okay? Now, can they force you to take a vaccine? No. Can they fire you for not taking a vaccine? No, because the Constitution says if you're claiming an exemption like religious exemption, they have to take that. But here's the thing. Well, if you're not going to take it, you need to be tested every week. You need to have that test. Okay, no big deal. Stop trying to cause controversy too much, man. Y'all, some of y'all just on this freedom mission just be acting like pure nuts. I swear to y'all, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Some of y'all so-called conscious people, I'd rather hang out in a room full of unconscious people than to be in a room with one of y'all so-called conscious people. Because a lot of these so-called conscious people ain't nothing but crooks and thieves. I would rather, just like Christ, he hang up with the drunks, the tax collectors. That's where he was having his party at. That's me. Let me hang out with the unconscious. Because know why I can hang out with the unconscious? They ain't sitting there trying to judge everything I'm doing or saying. And I don't have to sit there and talk about this stuff all the time. Every time I get with a so-called conscious, they want to just talk about this stuff all the time. What about this? And da. Yes, I talk about status correction and all of that stuff at times when it's needed, like I'm doing right now. It's a time for everything. But when I'm on my free time, I do not want to talk about this stuff. I want to talk about some regular stuff. You know, I want to talk about some good music. Like right now, I'm learning to play the guitar. I'm getting pretty good at it too. You know, I want to talk about some good food, some restaurants. You know, a good concert. I don't want to talk about, you know, I've tried to go out, hang out, and then people are talking about, well, you know, using this and using that, straw man this. I'm like, come on, man. This ain't the time for that, man. Set that aside when I'm doing the job. Right now, I'm doing a job. I'm in my car, my truck. That's when I want to deal with that. I got a saying for the conscious. The conscious, unconscious people. That's what this going on here. All the coming in. Assalamu alaikum. What is the other one? They don't say that one. They say, what's the term they use? Grand rising, peace, and they ain't got not a peaceful bone in their body. You know? But anyway, y'all, that's enough preaching. Remember, you got the power. God works in you. You are God. If you having a problem saying that you're God, I suggest you go to the mirror and say it 5 times or however time till you can convince yourself. I guarantee you start doing that, your life will change. You start looking at yourself, calling yourself the ultimate, the supreme source of all things that is good, life will change. I know I'm, you know, hurting some, you know, people. Oh, that's not doctrine. That's not the Bible. That's not this. Now, listen, man. I ain't arguing with nobody about no Bible, although I can pull it out and and shut any argument down, but I ain't got time for that. I'm just trying to talk to the folks that want to hear what I'm saying. That's it. You don't like what I'm saying? They got so many other channels out there that will give you what you asking for. There's so much of a variety of information. And if my information telling you that you're God, that you the divine manifestation of a God, bothers you, to the left, remember Christ's story. He healed a lot of folks, or he helped people see how they can heal themselves, right? Through changing their mind, right? What happened? Them same people that he healed decided to say impale him. And they chose a thief over him. Why? Because the vast majority of people they just want you to take care of their problem, but they don't want to continue to work on themselves. So they had to get rid of that preacher, teacher that was telling them all you have to do is this, change your mind and see yourself as I see you, as a divine manifestation that you are Christ. They don't want that. Why? Because that takes work. Because that, being in that divine mind, you have to look over, you got to look at people in a different way. You can't pass judgment on people. So they got rid of that character. We got to get rid of this consciousness. See, that's a symbolism how people will destroy the higher consciousness and flourish in the lower consciousness. All right, y'all. That's all I got to say. If y'all want the religious exemption, akiemel.com is there on my website. I got a tab, just click it. The video template goes with it. If you need further explanation, you can get a consultation at my website. If you really want to go in and you want to correct that status and have me show you step by step, premium membership. It's only $1,500 for 1 year. I don't require perpetual memberships. All you need is a year with me and you'll be good. Share that with your family. All your people that you're trying to help, that want help. Remember, you can't help everybody. You want to help the people that want to help themselves, right? So there you have it. Grand Rising Peace. Everyone have a peaceful, prosperous, and an extreme wealthy day. Peace.